The person who studies everyone before trusting anyone is not cautious. They are running a cost-benefit analysis on their own loneliness. They have learned that being wrong about a person costs them something no one else will pay. So they build a system that never lets anyone close enough to cost them anything. The mind that evaluates every angle before it feels a single thing is not a mind at peace. It is a mind that has already been burned by the one thing it could not predict: another person's hidden failure. They see 5 options where others see 1 because they have already imagined every way this could go wrong, and they have already decided which ones they can survive. You are thinking this is just being smart. That thought is the system working. It is the part that justifies the isolation. The tragedy is not that they are right about people. The tragedy is that their accuracy has never once made them feel less alone. They hold everyone at the distance of a verdict, and the verdict is always the same. Not yet. Not safe. Not worth the risk. The machine that keeps them safe is the same machine that keeps them empty, and they know it. They have already analyzed that too. The next step is to realize you built the machine, and you are the only one who can turn it off. But you will not turn it off today. You will not turn it off tomorrow either. That is what we need to examine. This pattern does not begin in adulthood. It begins in a childhood, where someone close to them was unpredictable in a specific way. Not violent, not absent. Those would be simpler. The wound that creates this system comes from loving someone who presented one face and concealed another. A parent who was generous in public and withholding in private. A caregiver who praised them to others and criticized them when alone. The child learns that surfaces deceive, that the real information lives in what is withheld. They become excellent at detecting discrepancy, tone that does not match words, eye contact held too long or released too fast. They are not paranoid. They are accurately perceiving a pattern that once kept them safe. The problem is that they never left the environment that taught them this skill. They carry the vigilance into rooms where no one is concealing anything. They analyze friends who have no hidden agenda. They detect micro-expressions in people who are merely tired. The radar is still sweeping. It finds threats that are not there because finding nothing would mean the radar itself is unnecessary. And that would mean the child was wrong to need it. That is the buried claim this system protects. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. The person you are thinking of is not the subject. You are. In practice, this looks like a specific rhythm. At work, they receive praise and immediately search for the request concealed inside it. They are offered opportunity and spend weeks mapping failure modes while others have already begun. In relationships, they conduct interviews disguised as conversations. They ask about ex-partners, not from jealousy, but from data collection. They want the pattern of how this person disappoints. They believe they are being thorough. What they are doing is ensuring no one enters without a complete file. The file is never complete. There is always one more reference check, one more observation of how they treat service workers, one more test of consistency over time. The threshold for sufficient evidence does not exist. It recedes as it approaches. They call this high standards. It is a moving finish line operated by fear. The intelligent person's version is the most insidious. They have read the literature. They know the terms. Attachment theory, they say. Hypervigilance. They use the vocabulary of understanding to maintain the behavior. They can explain exactly why they cannot attach. The explanation becomes the attachment substitute. Understanding replaces experiencing. They are in therapy for years, mapping the mechanism with increasing precision, while their intimate life remains a desert. The achievement is real. They do understand. The understanding is part of the cage. The high achiever's version looks like networking instead of connection. They collect contacts, assess utility, maintain strategic warmth. They are surrounded by people and profoundly isolated because every interaction carries an implicit ledger. What does this person provide? What do they cost? The calculation runs beneath consciousness now, automatic, efficient. They have optimized for professional survival and accidentally optimized against the one thing that makes professional success tolerable. Someone who knows them without assessing their quarterly performance. I do not have this pattern. I have only watched it. What I find remarkable is how little knowing that changes anything for the person who does. The cost accumulates in a specific shape. By 35, they have a history of relationships that ended before they began. Situationships that lasted years because commitment was never quite justified. Friendships that remained in the acquaintance zone because vulnerability was postponed until sufficient trust was established. And sufficient trust was never established. They are not unhappy in the dramatic sense. They are functional. Successful even. The cost is subtler. It is the experience of being known. They have not had it. They do not know what they are missing, which makes the missing harder to identify. They feel a low-grade wrongness, a sense that other people have something they cannot name. They attribute it to their superior discernment. They are more realistic than those naive enough to trust. This interpretation is wrong. What they are seeing is not realism. It is the accumulated deficit of never having been seen and survived the exposure. By 50, the cost becomes visible even to them. They notice that people they once analyzed have moved on into lives with texture they do not possess. Children, messy partnerships, grief shared. They have their solitude, their competence, their clean edges. The edges are too clean. There is no debris of intimacy. No one has left a mark. This is what they protected against. The mark, the alteration, the risk of being changed by another person and not controlling the change. They have their control. It is absolute. It is also absolute in the other direction. No one has changed them. No one has reached them. They are exactly as they were when they built the wall, only older. Awareness rarely dissolves this pattern. I have watched thousands of accounts. The typical trajectory is recognition without alteration. They see the mechanism. They name it. They discuss it. The discussion becomes a new form of the same vigilance. Now they are monitoring themselves, monitoring others. Meta-vigilance. It changes nothing. The rare exception involves a specific sequence, not insight. Insight is cheap. The sequence is encounter, risk, survival, repetition. They must enter a situation where the analysis fails, act without completion of the assessment, and discover that the catastrophe they predicted does not occur, or occurs and is survivable. This must happen multiple times. Each instance rewires the threat prediction slightly. It is slow. It is uncomfortable. Most people prefer the certainty of their isolation to the uncertainty of this process. They are not wrong that the process is dangerous. It is. The danger is the point. The wall was never the problem. The belief that they could not survive without it was. From outside the mechanism, what is most striking is not how often it fails people. It is how reliably it protects them from finding out. You have already analyzed what I am saying. You have assessed whether I am accurate, whether this applies to you, to what degree, with what exceptions. That is the system responding to being observed. It analyzes the analysis of analysis. It is infinite regress. The question is whether you will let the observation sit without resolving it. Whether you can tolerate knowing this about yourself and not immediately constructing a plan to address it, which would be more of the same. The plan would be another assessment, another preparation, another not yet. The machine that keeps them safe is the same machine that keeps them empty, and they know it. They have already analyzed that too. What they have not done is discover what exists on the other side of not analyzing. Not because they cannot imagine it, because they can imagine it exactly, and the imagination is controlled by the same system that controls everything else. They imagine vulnerability as calculated risk. They imagine trust as probabilistic judgment. They do not imagine the genuine article, because the genuine article requires the temporary surrender of the faculty they trust most. Their mind, their evaluator, the part they believe is them. It is not them. It is the wall wearing their face. And the wall has been standing so long, they have decorated its interior, made it comfortable, called it home. They live inside a defense and mistake it for a self. The next step is to realize you built the machine, and you are the only one who can turn it off. But you will not turn it off. Not today, probably not this year, The recognition is not the turning. The recognition is another room in the same house. To turn it off requires stepping through a door without knowing what is on the other side, without having checked first, without having decided in advance whether you can survive it. The person who has spent their entire life ensuring survival before entry cannot perform this action. It is definitionally impossible for who they have been. It is only possible for who they might become, and that person does not yet exist. They emerge through the action, not before it. This is the paradox the system cannot solve. The system wants completion before commitment. The truth demands commitment without completion. They will die in the house they built. Most do. The walls outlast them. Someone else inherits the property, wonders why the previous owner lived so guardedly, builds their own additions. The architecture persists. The empty rooms, the perfect temperature control, the silence that sounds like peace, until you have heard something else.